Welcome everyone to the Side Draft Podcast. Welcome to another Truck Series race review coming after the Cup Series that you saw yesterday because we got delayed. So a little bit late, but here we are to review the Truck Series race from Michigan. So to start off the weekend, Ross Chastain will win the pole. Then at the very beginning, Tyler Ankrum would have a penalty for pulling out of line just way too soon.
Yes, that's something you shouldn't do on the.
Yeah, you don't want to. I mean, you want to start up in the top 5 and not have to go through the pits and have a penalty like that. But anyway, he was able to get up there and compete for the win even. So that was pretty interesting that he was able to make his way back.
Yeah, Ross Chastain, he's always fast every week. He's coming out of the gate. They're Nice Motorsports doing a good job with this truck. So.
Yeah, and with that, he would just dominate the whole stage, and we didn't really see any contenders other than Ben Rhodes, who'd get in within like 2/10, 4/10, somewhere in there. Just couldn't really close on him.
Yeah, we got right there to his bumper, just couldn't quite get to him. But it seemed like the stage is very short.
Yeah, 20 lap stages. So, yeah, it was very short stages. But after that, at the beginning of stage 2, would have the pit stops. Ross Chastain, after a dominating stage 1, he would be out of the race because of pit road. Johnny Sauter and Robaugh would get into it on pit road. Sauter, I guess, just didn't know that Robaugh was there and sent him straight into Chastain.
Yeah, something with the spotters need to really communicate with the drivers. I don't know what goes on. They need to be aware of the trucks coming around, and I believe Robaugh was pitting in between Sauter and Chastain, and Sauter come out and Robaugh was coming down and just spun him around and sent him right into the side of Chastain. I don't know if Chastain started leaving, and it hit him right in the front corner panel. Even if he was still in his pit box, I believe it would have messed the front end of the truck up anyway.
Yeah, just an unfortunate place to be.
Yeah, we got the probably the best truck of the day, and he just destroyed it. So
yeah, so even on the racetrack, even on pit road, Ross Chastain's bad luck is continuing.
Yeah, he's crashed the truck like a watermelon. So
yeah,
it's just
the watermelon smashed Ross Chastain's truck, which is interesting because the truck was green. So yeah,
green and black. So
yeah, maybe not a good watermelon. But Ben Rhodes would take the lead after that, and then Christian Eckes would spin, bringing out the caution. That would lead for some strategy. And then Todd Gillen would lead off pit road. And then Enfinger would stay out during that because remember, these stages are very, very short. And then as they were battling for the lead, Austin Hill and Enfinger, Moffitt would just slingshot past them to win the stage. And with that, we want to mention Jordan Anderson finished 4th.
Yeah. Jordan, he had a very good practice session. He had a good qualifying. He qualified top 15.
Yeah.
And then finishing the stage. I mean, his truck is very fast. He's picking up the speed in his program. So I said, wow, it's good to watch. So here he got 4th, got good points, and that's good for a team.
Yeah, I believe it's the first time that Jordan finished in the top 5 in a stage. So pretty interesting and good day for him, or up until a certain point in the race. But it was a good day for him ultimately.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're already talking about stage 3. Wow, this race is going by fast.
These stages go by fast,
Yeah. So with that, stage 3, it would be Sheldon Creed versus Natalie Decker for the restart. Sheldon Creed would lead. Ben Rhodes would come up there and take the lead from Sheldon Creed. And then Creed would take it back. And Rhodes would take it back. It was just playing hot potato with the lead.
Yeah, the way these trucks draft, they can get to draft and they can catch the leader in no time. Sometimes they just kind of use the draft and slingshot around them, and then just go swapping back and forth. I mean, it seemed like a good, fun race.
Yeah, so they were having their fun up until Ben Rhodes would, or actually that didn't happen yet. It would be a caution for the 04 of Corey Roper. He would put it in the wall, and then it would be Todd Gillen versus Roach on the next restart. Gillen would take the lead. Teammate, his teammate Harrison Burton would take the lead or get side by side with him, and that's important because KBM currently were not in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's really good for both of them because they both got a race to get in. They got to run the race of their life to get into the playoffs. So.
Yeah, so with that, it would be Ben Rhodes. He'd have an issue. He would get, I believe it was a flat tire, went down pit road, and his day was done. His playoff hopes are also done as well.
Yeah, because he was racing for a playoff position too. I believe he had one of the fastest truck out there, but I don't know if he got in somebody, but cut his tire down, and then he had to come back to pit road several times. So not very good for that team. I mean, it seems like he runs very, very good, and he just can't get the wins and like he needs to.
And Todd Gillen, he would have to go to pit road as well, and his playoff dreams are over as well. We saw last year, he was running pretty well in the playoffs, but just couldn't ever get the win. And we thought maybe that this year he'd definitely get the win, and unfortunately just maybe didn't get the opportunity to take advantage of the raw speed that the KBM trucks had. They just had a rough year.
Yeah, really, all the KBM trucks, they're like either have some kind of issue or something happens, getting involved in a wreck or what it is, but they're always up towards the top 10.
Yeah, so with that would just give Austin Hill the lead. He came out of nowhere. I believe he had a penalty earlier in the race, and then he just raced his way back and found himself in the lead.
Yeah, I believe at this point, Brett Moffitt, he had a little bit fresher tires maybe, and he was one of the fastest truck coming to the field, but he just couldn't get that track position to get up there.
It would have a caution for the 51 of Christian Eckes. He would spin. I'm not sure if he was exactly running for points, but either way, I don't think he was able to get it. So
he was having a lot of tire issues. I don't know if he's broke something or cut a tire earlier, and it just caused this one to go out too.
The next restart, it'd be Austin Hill versus Tyler Ankrum. He managed to race his way back up there after that penalty early on, and then he was able to get the lead, and then we have another caution for Christian Eckes. He would spin yet again. He might have been, he was the majority of the cautions, so I just couldn't figure out what the tire issue was.
Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, then on the next restart, it would be Hill versus Ankrum. And Ankrum would end up getting it again, and another spin. So
yeah.
Another spin by Christian Eckes. On the next restart, we all thought Ankrum was in the best position, and then he would end up getting turned by Matt Crafton. I guess he just missed a shift or spun the tires, something like that. And then that took out his teammates, Anthony Alfredo and Natalie Decker. Also took out Jordan Anderson. It was insult to injury to Todd Gilland, and also a little bit of damage to Johnny Sauter. So
a lot of good trucks, got took out. I believe Matt Crafton might, let me say, Tyler Ankrum, I believe he got a little loose or had a little wheel spin, and then Matt Crafton got in the back end of him, and it just made him spin some more. So, and then it caused all that. And it was very unfortunate for Natalie Decker. She wasn't doing too bad, and Jordan Anderson, he was doing real good, and he just got caught up in everybody else's stuff.
Yeah, and DGR Crossley, they were running. They all are running good. Ankrum up there in the lead. Alfredo, his running pretty well, and Decker as well. And they just got all took out in one little spin. So that's really unfortunate for them. But then I believe we'd have just a few laps to go. It'd be Austin Hill versus Brent Moffitt. Then Hill would get out to the lead. Creed would come out there, and he'd get side by side with Moffitt and all of them. So that just slowed their momentum down by being side by side. And Austin Hill was able to go out to a win, and he was able to get his second career win, and also second win of the season.
Yeah, and this is one of the tracks that Brett Moffitt won in that truck.
Yeah, so good win for the 16. It's very lucky here at Michigan.
Yep.
And next week we go to Bristol. But we do want to say congratulations to Austin Hill and Hattori Racing. We haven't really seen them in the races for a while. I mean, they had like a couple months of bad luck. Finished last at Eldora, and then come to Michigan right before the playoffs start, get the win. So they won the season opener, and now they won the regular season finale.
Yeah, and Matt Crafton, he kind of dodged a bullet there because Austin Hill's already won, so Matt Crafton's in, so he's in the playoffs.
Yeah, so now the playoffs are officially started. We're going to Bristol on Thursday, so Thursday night racing at Bristol. It's going to be intense and exciting, but before we talk a little bit about Bristol, let's talk about the playoff points positions. So with that, KBM is not in the playoffs right now.
What? They're not in?
No, they are not. Kyle Busch is probably very frustrated somewhere.
Yep.
Wherever he is right now, probably his house. Very upset with his drivers, but
he may have all new drivers next year.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he should give Harrison Burton another season.
Yeah.
I mean, Harrison Burton could go on a tear in the playoffs. I'm looking specifically at Martinsville. That's a place where he can, just like Noah Gragson did a few years ago. So I feel like Harrison Burton should get another chance, and maybe Gillen. I mean, he's run a good season. He just didn't get a win. So I don't know, but knowing it's Kyle Busch, there's probably going to be a completely different roster in there.
Yeah, because Kyle Busch knows these trucks can win because he can jump in on it and just dominate the whole race. I just ain't sure what the those teams are really missing. If it's just them and their crews just can't communicate, or just bad luck. I mean, racing's tough sometimes, and you can have the best equipment, best team, and just get took out somehow.
Yeah, so Ben Rhodes, another one of those that didn't get in, probably would have if those issues wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like when he runs really great and dominates the race, something happens toward the end. He's another one that just runs into some bad luck sometimes.
All right, so now we get into the ones who actually made the playoffs. I put a little graphic up there for you. We have in 8th place Tyler Ankrum with that win that he got at Kentucky, I believe it was. That solidified his playoff run. Good run at Michigan up until those issues happened. He may possibly be the favorite.
Yeah, I think he would be. I'd keep an eye on him. He'd probably be one of my picks to maybe be a favorite to win the championship. He's been coming on stronger as the year goes along, and he runs really great. And I believe he's just going to pick it up once the playoff starts.
Then we have Johnny Sauter in the 7th position. He is just 13 points behind the first position, so very tight playoff picture here. He got locked in at Dover earlier in the season, very dominating fashion. Then Matt Crafton did not get a win all season, but just showed that consistency. I believe he would have had a couple wins if it was for all the mechanical failures and all that, but he managed to survive up until here.
Yeah, Johnny Sauter, I mean, really had the finishes they really needed lately. he has been bad luck getting in a crash. Yeah, just a lot of crashes, lately for him, and I just ain't sure what's going on with that team right now.
We're going to Bristol next week, or a few days, I should say, especially when you're watching on Monday. So that's a place I think Sauter's going to do very well at.
Yeah.
And then we already talked about Crafton. Ross Chastain in 5th, just 10 points out of first place. At the beginning of the season, wasn't even on the, for points or anything, running for the championship. But he managed to switch after that win at Kansas. Won a couple times. Won at Iowa, then didn't win at Iowa. Got that disqualification there, and then went on to win Gateway, and then won Pocono. So he's been probably missed a few there, but he's just won pretty much everywhere throughout the season. So he may also be the favorite. I don't know. It's like he's been pretty sporadic. He's either been dominating or he's been way in the back. So that's going to be one of those. It depends on his luck. Bristol may not be kind to him, but also may be very kind to him. So it all depends on Bristol, I believe.
Yeah, if he can survive, all the way to Homestead, he may have a good shot. I mean, it'd be good for Nice Motorsports to actually get a chance for a championship. I mean, how awesome would that be?
And tied with Ross Chastain right now is Austin Hill, who just won Michigan, and also, with that extra win, that gave him a few points there, so that win was kind of important to him.
Yeah, I ain't sure about Austin Hill. He's another one that's not really, consistent. He runs good or not good, or most of the time he's far back in the pack. So.
Yeah, when you think about it, the whole truck series is like that. I mean, you got those guys who run pretty well, but they just never run consistently every week. They're not like Kyle Busch when he goes in the truck series. He's always first. He never never second, never third. He's always first. And so
yeah, it's really really hard to say who can just run away with it. I believe they're all kind of have their own troubles.
Then we have Stuart Friesen, got the win at Eldora, just 8 points out, and he's been one of those who runs pretty well. I think he's if he could stop having the pit crew issue, the pit stop issue, and then maybe a few mistakes on the racetrack, I think he could run away with it. Could run away with a lot of these races, and Homestead's one of those I think that he could do really well at. I believe he led a few laps last year, so it's going to be one of those things. As long as he can finish these races, he's going to sit pretty well, and I think he's going to be in the Final Four.
Yeah, I believe last year he's led some laps at Homestead. He if it went for the pit crew, he would have won it. But so it's really hard to say how he's going to be. He's got fast trucks every week. Even in Michigan, he didn't really lead any laps, but he did finish top 10. So I say he's pretty consistent unless something like Pocono happens. You get wrecked on the first lap, so it's hard to really say.
Yeah, the bad thing is Talladega is in this picture.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about consistency all you want, but if you do bad there, then all of a sudden it's all gone. So, but we do have Grant Enfinger in second, who won the regular season championship. Got I believe 15 extra points, and that allowed him to get to the second slot there, and end up being only 3 points out. And then Brett Moffitt, 2 wins, kinda, I guess you could say, with that Iowa win, because it was originally Ross Chastain's win, then it went to Brett Moffitt. And he won one just recently, I believe Chicagoland. So he could also be one of those that just runs away with it. So I think it's either going to be Moffitt, Friesen, Chastain, or possibly Ankrum. It all depends on how consistency goes and how they all run. But we're going to go more in depth of this through next couple of days, we're going to do a special playoff episode. We're going to see if we can perfectly predict the playoffs, and we got to hope that we make our picks accordingly to our video here.
Yeah, maybe we need to start a bracket.
Yeah, think about printing one out and figuring out the bracket there.
Yeah.
All right, so hope you enjoyed it. I know we went a little bit too much in depth.
Yeah, we got a little carried away.
Kind of a little bit of our preview of what you're going to see on Wednesday. So we're going to have another Wednesday episode again. So
all right,
that's good. And then we'll have a Thursday or probably a. Yeah, we're going to have to do fast picks early, I guess.
yeah.
We may possibly have 2 videos on Wednesday, so stay tuned on that. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for our Xfinity Series race review, the Mid-Ohio review. So we'll see you then.